Welcome back, everybody, to Indiana Diecast Racing. This is the continuing first round action of the Final Fantasy Fracas, and today we've got groups 27 and 28. Kicking it off for Group 27 is a car I've been dying to see run. It's Sneaky Bob II from Vapor Racing in Purple Tokyo, a 92-gram MST Suzuka. You know, I think these might be the next Evo. From Flips Racing, driver number 2 is Smooth Keith Stone. SKS is driving the Unabomber, an unobtainium weighing 101 grams. Representing Uncle Elvis Racing, the next driver is Sawyer at the helm of the Brick, a 90-gram Rise and Climb. Sawyer's known for driving unique cars, racing in the Disney Steamboat in the Death Race, the Anglia with the Spider in the House Cup, and a 56 Ford pickup in the Sock Hop Slam, bowing out in round 2 each time. And not surprisingly, this group's got a rep from Arlo Racing. It's Lou Hondo at the wheel of Outrunner, a 104-gram Country Club muscle. Bob and Keith start up front, Sawyer and Lou in the back. Given the headliners in this one, I could see the group winner going deep into the tournament. Smooth Keith Stone with a smooth start, and they're already way more spread out than I expected. Keith leads them through Echo Base, and so far everyone's behaving. They come to the final straight, and Keith wins. Bob just holds off Sawyer for second, and somewhat surprisingly, Arlo only manages a 4th place finish. Ooh, fancy transition graphic. Breaking the 4th wall is one of my favorite things to do, and kinda like how Smooth Keith Stone smoothly seemed to break any and all walls in front of him, jumping out of the gate and never looking back. The Heavies with a clean lap, Flips Racing on top. Sawyer takes the pole with Bob on the outside. The outside lane gets a good jump and Bob maintains a half-car length lead into turn 2. Sawyer gets sideways, but somehow no chaos through Echo Base and the S. There's single file through the square, and coming to the line, it's Sneaky Bob 2, Sawyer, Lou Hondo, and Smooth Keith Stone in a bang-bang finish. Despite starting on the outside, Sneaky Bob is able to gain the lead and holds it the entire lap. Sawyer tries to make things interesting on the Coroplast, but all of these drivers being very cautious despite their heavy weights. Sneaky Bob II assumes a 2-point lead over Keith and Sawyer. Points underdog Hondo may be behind, but he starts on the front row the rest of the way. Starting to see a trend with good starts on that outside lane, but Lou Hondo is able to pull ahead and leads for the first time today. It's unusual for a member of Arlo Racing to be the underdog at any point, and Lou takes a shot from Keith. Sawyer challenges too, and as they come to the final turn, Keith looks inside, but Lou Hondo holds on for a much-needed win, just ahead of Smooth Keith Stone and Sawyer. Sneaky Bob takes 4th after a somewhat quiet lap for the points leader. The only hiccup this lap was when Keith got sideways exiting turn 2, but he catches a lucky bounce off the Coroplast rail and quickly straightens out, maintaining his ability to challenge for the lead, ultimately turning in a 2nd place finish. And this is exactly what I was hoping for when this group was put together. 1 point separates top from bottom heading to the final lap. Keith gets the golden pole position, Lou Hondo outside, Bob and Sawyer in the back. Keith builds a strong lead heading to Hogwarts. Down the Coroplast, it's Keith, Hondo, Bob, and Sawyer. They hit the Savage Square, which is somewhat less savage today as Keith runs away with lap 4. Lou takes 2nd just ahead of Bob, and wow, Sawyer turns in what will be the one and only DNF of the day. Unfortunately, that will definitely be the end of his tournament. Smooth Keith Stone locks up an impressive win, and we've got a tie for 2nd between Sneaky Bob II and Lou Hondo, so it's Thunderdome! With the exact same lap record, I had to flip a coin to determine starting lanes, and Hondo won the small toss. Bob takes the lead, and now the onus is on Hondo to make a move. Hondo slides through the S section, and this may be over. He gains a bit on Bob, but Sneaky Bob II takes the runoff. A great battle to start the day. Hopefully Group 28 can keep it going, and it just might, because we've got a Count Muscula theme going on. Leading off, it's Doc from Miniature Car Racing in Tommy Like Wingy, weighing in at 45 grams. Muscula number 2 is the 83-gram Yellow Finch driven by Dangerous Dawn of Vapor Racing, back for what I think is her 5th tournament here. Mids represents Raw Sun God Racing in weighing 55 grams. And lastly, from Funky Mother Chicken Racing, Ironheart 54 returns in Silver 7 weighing 45 grams. He took 3rd in the death race, also in account Muscula. Doc and Dawn start up front, Mids and Ironheart in the back. Doc with a tiny bump, he's unable to take advantage of the inside lane, and Dangerous Dawn takes the first lead of the day. Mids hops up onto the curb for apparently no reason. Dawn a little loose, but Iron rolls in Echo Base, and Doc struggles with Control 2. Dangerous Dawn flies away with the lap 1 victory. Doc rolls in for a distant second. Tough break on lap 1 for the back row. I don't see what caused Mids to jump the curb, but it had to be a seam that the Muscula is just more prone to catch. While it was not easy to see, Ironheart 54 fell prone to a rollover because he was too shallow entering Echo Base. Dawn and Doc up early after a double DNF. Mids takes the pole for lap 2, Doc outside. Mids hits that same bump just out of the gate, and they're dead even going through Mordor. Dawn tosses Doc around turn 2 and he's off, while Mids gets sideways. Mids gets straightened out, now Ironheart spins in the back. Dawn challenges Mids for position as Doc rounds the final turn. Doc wins. Mids just edges out Dawn for second. Hey, Ironheart rolls in backwards to complete the lap for a point. Mids sideways slide down the coroplast caused some momentary chaos, but amazingly, everyone still finishes the lap. Doc takes a 1-point lead at the halfway point, but will start from the back the rest of the way. Iron and Mids share the front row, Dawn and Doc in the back. A fairly even start this time, and the inside lane pulls ahead as Dawn pushes Ironheart down the track. They get single file, and Ironheart spins! He maintains the lead through Echo Base, but he's all over the place trying to block Dangerous Dawn. Doc gets inside Mids, but nothing's doing, and they hit the final straight. Lap 3 is Iron, and Mids makes the late pass to take second over Dawn. Doc is 4th. That was exactly the result Ironheart and Mids needed to get back in this fight. Ironheart, while not the fastest of the bunch, really benefited from that inside lane Dawn on the back row combination to get launched out front early. His back end comes around as he slides past the turtle tunnel, surviving Echo Base despite a rail grind and a lot of desperation trying to stay ahead of Dawn. Doc nearly finds his moment to make some passes in the square, but Dawn's too good a driver to let that happen, dropping to the bottom just in time. She doesn't fare so well on the final straight though, losing speed and allowing Mids to complete the overtake. Doc and Dawn now lead the group with 8, but the Gold and Silver boys are within striking distance. Dawn claims the final pole position, Ironheart 54 on the outside. I have a strong feeling Dawn's going to quickly wrap this up. The question to me is who's going to advance as the number 2. Sure enough, Dawn takes off and no one's going to catch her. Dawn sails through Echo Base and Doc flies off the track, making this a 3-car race. Iron rolls in the square and Mids zips by. Dawn's going to coast to the win and... oh, wait. I'm being told she's the only one who will complete the lap. Looks like Mids is off track in the final turn. Ironheart 54 is on his roof shortly before that, and well, we know what happened to Doc. Doc took the Echo Base turn just fine, but tries to cut inside Mids and ramps himself up and over. Iron rolls himself in the square, and I think Mids got caught up just enough that he damaged his engine or wheels or something. Dangerous Dawn and Doc survived the melee and advanced to round 2. And now, here's a special surprise, the drivers who are currently in contention for a wildcard spot. Remy 12 Gauge from Flips Racing. Numbskull from the team I can't remember. Sky from FPD. Miss Carey from Rust Belt. James of Scotland 18. Adam West from Funky Mother Chicken. Cardinal G from G4 Diecast. The Dude, representing Dragon Wheels Racing. Umiko, also from Flipiak. Sunset, another Flips Racing driver. And Lou Hondo from Arlo Racing. There will be 19 wildcards and lots of round 1 racing left, so none of these drivers are locked in yet. Congratulations to Smooth Keith Stone, Sneaky Bob II, Dangerous Dawn, and Doc. This has been Jim D for Indiana Diecast Racing. Be sure to check in next time for more slightly above mediocre diecast racing and the continuing round 1 action of the Final Fantasy Fracas.